Hey, welcome back, bums. This is your low-budget analyst, Scott here, and I have a new list for some analyzing. It's Matthew Pashby's list. He did pretty well at the LVO 2019. I believe he got like 3rd or 5th or something like that. He did better than the other Idoneth Deepkin lists that I analyzed, and but I liked that one because it was a lot, just almost all knights. When I say knights, I mean all eels. And this one still has quite a few eels. But it's a little different because it's got the use of Namarti thralls, 2 blobs of them, but not full blobs, and then a lot of allies. And we're going to go over that really quick on what did he do to make top 8. Now, I heard he was a really good player. I have a comment on one of my YouTube videos about, hey, do this guy's list. I think it's better. The player was really good and all that. So I was like, well, yeah, sounds good. Let me do it. So both lists did use Enclave Domhain, and that's how I'm going to pronounce it. This is how I'm going to pronounce it, boys and girls. Leaders, Achillean King, they both use that. But this one, he's got the trait Born from Agony and artifact Cloud of Midnight. Cloud of Midnight, if you don't know what that is, it allows your guy to not be attacked, have spells casted on him, or abilities on him, right? So on the Achillean King, he goes poof, right? He's still there. He can still hold a point, but you can't attack him and all that. And also, the Achillean King won't be able to attack back or use abilities and cast spells, right? Anyways, Cloud of Midnight, pretty good, but if you are playing against somebody using Cloud of Midnight, I do want to caution you that Cloud of Midnight, because you have to use it at the beginning of a phase, as per the wording of it, it's very easy for someone to angle shoot you. So here, angle shooting in a poker refers to the practice of using various underhanded or unfair methods in order to take advantage of an inexperienced opponent. Such behavior may appear to be unethical, but as long as it does not actually break the rules, angle shooting cannot strictly be considered cheating, even though I think that this might be cheating. Now, I'm not saying Matthew did this. I have no idea what Matthew did. I don't think Matthew did this because no one has said anything about it, right? I'm just saying, if you play against Cloud of Midnight, doesn't matter who's running it, don't get angle shot. Basically, what they're going to do with the Achillean King is go, I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know where I want to shoot. I'm going to shoot, and you're about to point at his Achillean King, or you're about to cast a spell on him, and they go, oh, hold up. You're going to your shooting phase, right? Okay, your shooting phase. No, I'm going to pop Cloud of Midnight. And they can only use it once, right? So, if you are playing against Achillean King with a Cloud of Midnight, and you plan to do something against that Achillean King, you need to go, I'm about to go into my hero phase, any effects? I'm going to go into my shooting phase, any effects? I'm about to go into my combat phase, any effects? And they go, oh, no effects. Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Nope. You're like, okay, I'm going to shoot the Achillean King. Oh, yeah, wait, I'm going to pop. No, I asked you any effects. I'm now making targets. We're past the beginning of the phase, okay? So, prove me if I'm wrong, right? If that's not how that works, okay? So, if I give my opponent the opportunity and he declines, he should not be able to reverse what I'm saying to then pop Cloud of Midnight, right? Okay, so think about that. Don't get angle shot by Cloud of Midnight player. Now, I just spent 2 minutes on that. But anyways, Cloud of Midnight's very good. Next up, we have Ishran Soul Scryer. We have 2 of those. Basically, that one likes to give my units a bonus to their charge and deep strike. So now my, say, block of Achillean Morsar Guard, is now coming in on the left-hand side of the table onto a point due to an Ishran Soul Scryer. And if you have dudes on that point, he's going to take this block of 12 and get +3 to charges and then charge you. So that is what those 2 are there for, in my honest opinion. Also, he can get the, what is that called? There's so many different little things in here. Let me read this here. Oh yeah, the Ishran rituals. So he can try and attempt to cast a ritual, And the biggest ritual he wants is the until your next hero phase, any models cannot fly. That way they can't run away from your blobs and try and get on a point. So if you're trying to hold someone down, especially that can fly, you can block their movements. The next one is you can take away cover for your opponent, which, I mean, the Canary heart renders at the bottom there are ranged, so that's kind of good. Though the rituals isn't very big in this list. He's not caring about the rituals too much, even though you do have the option. Of course, we still have the Gloomtide Shipwreck. That's not too big in this list. And let us go over what's next. Namarti Thralls. Okay, he's got 2 blobs of Namarti Thralls. He can, I believe he can use the Isharon Soul Scryer on that. And let me just pull up Isharon Soul Scryer. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So Isharon Soul Scryer is going to be able to bring in any Idoneth Deepkin unit. So just any of those Idoneth Deepkin units can go ahead and deep strike. So I don't play Idoneth myself. I do like it very much, but I don't actually play it. So I do have to re-look up a lot of what these things do. Those Namarti Thralls, like I said, they're blobs, but they're not expensive blobs. 280 points. Now, this blob can really fight against, say, Grimghast Reapers. Grimghast Reapers cost over 300 points. If you can get a charge off on a unit of Grimghast Reapers and mostly destroy it, right, before they get to swing back at you, this is 280 points that successfully took on a blob of 300-something point models, okay? So that's pretty good in my honest opinion. Next is the Killian Ashland Guard. Now, this one has a specific role on the battlefield. This is why he chose this unit versus more Thralls or whatever, okay? A Killian Ashland Guard is 140 points. I believe that it was meant to take on enemy ranged units that are sitting on points, like a Judicator. A unit of Judicators that cost 160 points. So you're getting a points value off of destroying a 160 point unit, taking a point with an Echelon Guard for 140 points. Now it's really good because they don't die easily, okay? They're really good against units that have rend. So I'm not just saying just Judicators. I'm just saying, you know, things in general that are like that. Units that have rend, because the Echelon Guard ignores the rend, and when they charge, they also get a 3-up save. So you're basically getting a 3-up eye save. So for you 40k fans, or non-40k fans, it just means a save that cannot be modified from rend, okay? Or any effects that could improve the save. Oh, not improve the save. Effects of rend. But in... Sorry, I just went on a tangent here about eye save. But you get what I'm saying. Echelon Guard, and they still pack a decent punch. Of course, they don't have the mortal wound ability that the Morsar Guard does, but they can pack a punch. They can kill off a ranged unit or weaker unit pretty well. Next is the Achillean Morsar Guard, 12 units that is meant to point, click, boom, it's dead. That is what that Morsar Guard is meant to do. It will fly across the board, or it'll go into the back somewhere with an Isharon Soul Scryer, be 9 inches away from a blob of units or whatever you want to kill, and then charge it immediately with that +3. Preferably taking over a point. Like I said, taking over an objective is just so important at LVO. I'm going to say at LVO. I think it's important all the time, and at least in the terms I play in. But if you want to try and top 8 LVO, you're going to really need to do this. Take the points, right? Next up is 20 Eternal Guard. Now, why did he pick Eternal Guard? Eternal Guard's sort of in a faction that really isn't seeing any support, or at least very little support. Basically, those are 20 little wood elf kind of guys, and I'm going to bring them up here really quick so I can... There's one effect in particular is why he's bringing them. They have an effect called Fortress Bows. In your hero phase, this unit can form a Fortress of Bows. If it does so, it cannot move until your next hero phase. But until then, you can add 1 to all hit, wound, and save rolls for the model, okay? It's a 1 wound, bravery 7, 5-up save, 2-inch range on the attack, so 20 units, 20 models. All 20 of them have a good chance of being able to fight. 1 attack each, 4s and 4s. So you're going to go to 3s and 3s with a 4-up save instead, right? It has Glade Shields. You can reroll save rolls of 1 for the unit of Glade Shields. You can roll save rolls of 1 or 2 if it is in cover. So, I mean, that's probably being ignored most of the time. But if you are in cover, every model has to be slightly in cover, right, for the whole unit to be in cover. Or to get the cover bonus on the units that are in the cover itself. So you're going to want to put this on a home objective that it can just sit on and then do Fortress of Bows. So if you're like, oh, this is a home objective, I need a unit to just sit here and make sure my opponent doesn't take it. Well, you would put this blob just right on top of that point, and it would sit there all turn, all game. Probably never really needing to move anywhere. Also, in case he doesn't need that to do that, he can use the Eternal Guard as just this huge screen line. He can use it to just screen out an opponent that's trying to do something he doesn't want, right? If someone wants to fly across the board, or not fly, but just move fastly across the board, he can use this unit to just be a roadblock and then get a counter charge, right, on the next turn. But if not in the case, he's just going to blob them out on a point and hold it. Now, Canary Heartrenders. This unit is unique in that it is the cheapest unit that can be not only be able to do okay amounts of damage, but deep strike. All right, so it's an 80-point deep strike unit, okay, and it's fast. It's very fast. It can readjust where it comes in because it's got 14-inch move. If you deep stroke it in a place where you don't want it anymore, it'll just move away very quickly. So it has descend to battle. Instead of setting the unit on the battlefield, you can place it to one side and say it is circling high above. In any of your movement phases, it can descend to battle, set up the unit anywhere on the battlefield that has more than 9 inches from any models. This is their move for the movement phase. So, and it has some other things too, where they get better stuff, better stats and stuff. It's 1 wound for a 6-up save, so it'll die very quickly. But he's not really using it for all just the killiness of it, though these are slightly more killy. But it's really to just suddenly, boom, here I am. Thank you, I will take that point. That's what it's for. He's not looking to really charge these in on somebody, though. They each will have a 4 to hit, 4 to wound, -1 rend for 1 damage, and they all have the ranged javelin attack that's 12 inches, so it can come in and shoot something right away. But he really wants to put that on a point somewhere, especially if he's, say, used the Achillean Echelon Guard to assault something, and he's like, okay, I need slightly more to take this point. Well, then he can put those 5 units there and then charge in as well, or just shoot and sit there until the Echelon Guards finish their job. So that's basically what he wants to do with those units. Have a very small, but still bodies, right? Still boots on the ground. Actually, these guys fly, right? Still wings in the air to be able to take that point that he needs to take. So his list has options. So if he gets put into a certain situation, he's able to turn that around and be able to bring it back, right? Be able to do what he needs to when he wants to do it, and have that freedom. That's so important in a lot of lists today, and just trying to win games and tournaments. So I can tell this player is very skilled to be able to bring these toolbox sort of units to do exactly what he needed them to do. If you notice, this list has no spellcasters, right? So this list with no spellcasters is unique because most lists have spellcasters. It's almost something that all lists have is some sort of spellcaster. But this list has no spellcasters. So if you don't like magic, if you're like Khorne, but you want something that's more order friendly, that's not chaos, I mean, this list is very, good for you on having no spells. But anyways, that is my analysis so far of this list. I think there's more that I could add. There's more I could talk about. But that's the biggest points that I wanted to hit. And tell me what you think in the comments below. I have one person right now that does a lot of commenting, and his comments are very insightful. So if you're watching, make sure you read the comments so you can learn more. All right? And see other people's opinions to help your own analysis. You bums.